Welcome back to Diaries of a Dull Dad, and this is week number 14, 14 of the diet, 15 of the diet. I've lost track a little bit because we've had a couple of weeks back in the UK, various things going on, but I think this is week 15 of the diet actually. I think this is episode 16, which must mean it's week 15 of the diet. So sit back and enjoy. First training session of the week done. Felt good to be back. I ended up having a few more days off than I had planned because excuse me, I trained. When did I last train? I trained on Friday back in the UK. Friday before we headed home. Saturday was the wedding day, so I had originally had intentions to train on the Saturday morning, but Louis had other ideas because he had us up at 4:15. So needless to say, I was pretty shattered, and I didn't want to make myself feel even worse, ready for the drive home on Sunday. So Friday was the last time I trained, ended up taking Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were a little bit of a catch up. I had intended to go to the gym Tuesday. That's my normal sort of day that I would go. But the Wi-Fi decided to stop working on Monday lunchtime, so I had to wait in while the guy came around. Typically, he arrived at 4:00 in the afternoon, despite the window being earlier in the day. So yeah, finally got back in the gym today, which is Thursday. Had a really, really good push session. A little bit weaker than before I went away, but normal. Also saw another drop on the scales today. So one of the lowest weights that I've hit on this particular little fat loss phase, hit 164 pounds. But training felt great. It felt really, really good to be back in, and I can definitely feel the groove is coming back. So yeah, back in for push today. Really good session. Pull tomorrow, Saturday off. Legs should be Sunday morning, Monday off, Tuesday for delts and arms, and that will be a wrap on the training week. The first training week back in our home, back in the home environment, which is also feels good as well. Back onto the equipment that I've become a bit more familiar with, rather than traveling around here, there, and everywhere, and squeezing sessions in as and where I could. So yeah. Anyway, first session in the bag, and it felt good. So there you will have seen just a little bit of an update that I've given as we got back into things. After I've been to the gym for the first time, I ended up going Thursday, Friday last week, and then started to feel a little bit rough over the weekend, which is probably just all of that travel just catching up with me a little bit, to be honest, which is normal. We were traveling around the UK for a couple of weeks. Food was a bit here and there, training a bit hit and miss, different beds, trying to make sure that everything was getting done as it needed to. It was definitely a lot of work, and yeah, I think as the week went on last week, it just got on top of me a bit. So I ended up not training since last Friday. Today's Tuesday that I'm recording this. Usually I would have gone to the gym today. I would also have usually gone on Sunday, but I've just given myself a few extra days just to make sure that I'm feeling back to 100%. So fingers crossed, my next training day is going to be Thursday, and I can start to get really back into the groove again, because feels like absolutely ages since that groove has been there, and I'm yeah, very, very much looking forward to it coming back. But the physique is here. So just to give you a little bit of an update on what happened since we got back from holiday. So I say holiday, since we got back from England. I never really consider it a proper holiday, because it's usually busier and more stressful than being back at home. But anyway, we got back, settled back into things, back on the diet. Training, like I say, wasn't ideal. I've managed to get in the gym twice. The diet's been absolutely spot on, which has resulted in another 2 pounds coming off, which means that total so far 23 pounds off in the space of 15 weeks. Within the space of 15 weeks, that certainly hasn't been straightforward. And like, part of the reason I wanted to go through this process was because I wanted to show you and also myself what is possible, even in the least favorable of conditions. I think a lot of the time people wait around for the perfect moment, when I've got 3 months, 6 months when nothing's going on. It's never going to happen. Like, you're always going to have something going on, whether it's a busy work schedule, whether it's kids, whether it's holidays, whether it's whatever it might be. There's always going to be something happening. And I wanted to show what is possible. And 23, 24 pounds down in the space of 15 weeks, in that time where we've had we've had birthdays, we've had anniversaries, there's been weddings, there's been trips away, there's been sicknesses, there's been all of these things that have happened. Work has been particularly busy. It's been a phase, 3.5, 4 months where so much has gone on, and I've still been able to make this kind of progress. And like I say, part of that was me wanting to sort of say to you guys, you can do it. Yes, you need to put your mind to it. Yes, you need to commit. But when you've got the right support, when you've got the right guidance, when you've got the right plans in place, it's 100% possible to do. So as you'll see in these physique shots, like from where we were at the very beginning, up at around 186, 187 pounds, down to where we're at now, which is 163. Feeling so much better, and you can obviously see that in the visuals. I'm way leaner, seeing much more of the hard work that I've put in to gain the muscle in the first place is starting to come through even more. The legs in particular are starting to show, which is always one of those things for me, that sort of lower ab area, the legs, always one of the last things for me to get lean. So when I start to see those things getting more lines, we know that things are in a good spot. And yeah, feeling, like I say, much better for it. Obviously, I want to be back to like 100% in terms of niggles disappeared, health being back where it is, and really settling back in. But just plans for this week. So, we had this week back where we just settled down, wanted to see what would happen. Another couple of pounds have come off. And given that it hasn't been the hardest of sort of fat loss phases so far in relative terms, I have seen 23 pounds of body fat come off with all of that other stuff going on. My food isn't crazy low. I'm still at around 1,800, 2,000 calories a day, 300 carb on my training days, 200 carb on my non. Energy levels aren't bad. Like, hunger's definitely there, don't get me wrong, but it's not been like crazy push. It's not been to the point where I've had to really strip everything back to, eating next to nothing, ramping up cardio to extremes. It's been achieved in, arguably quite a manageable way. We're going to just have another week. I'm going to have 2 high days on Thursday and Friday, hopefully assuming that those are the next 2 days that I get back to the gym. So that'll be my push session and my pull session. Another couple of high days in there. Fingers crossed, that'll then mean Sunday I can train legs. Monday will be a rest day. Tuesday will be delts and arms, and we'll see where we're at that point. But hopefully it's going to mean I can just find that rhythm, find that routine, get back into the swing of things, get a bit of an energy boost from those couple of high days again, and just generally feel so much better in myself. So yeah, really solid sort of 14-15 weeks so far, potentially another couple to go. And then it's just deciding what we want to do from there, because we're going away on holiday at the end of August, so I don't want to be too far away from this kind of condition. To go away feeling good, feeling in a good spot, feeling like I've got a bit of definition to me will definitely be a nice thing, because I've spent the past couple of summers very much in the depths of phases of growth, so really not carrying much definition with me at all. So to go away on holiday feeling in pretty decent shape will be good. So whether that means that, we might push even harder for the next few weeks and just get even more of that body fat off, and then almost like hold slight sort of growth phase for a few weeks leading up to the holiday, just to build food back up a little bit, just so that my body's got used to eating more, so that I don't go away like immediately post heavy push, really reducing stuff, calories at a minimum, and then suddenly going on holiday, almost letting loose of stuff and just seeing loads of body weight and body fat pile back on. If we can push a little bit harder and then just gradually grow into that holiday, that'll definitely be a nice thing to do. But yeah, that the options are there, which is really cool. So we'll see where we're at next week. Sunday is also my first Father's Day, which is a very special moment. You can only become a father once, and so you're only ever going to be able to celebrate your first Father's Day a single time. No idea what we're doing. I will hopefully get a leg session in early while Louis is having his first nap, and then we'll see. We'll hopefully go out for the day, go out for a nice meal, maybe somewhere, have a nice walk. The weather's meant to be getting really nice again. It's nice at the moment. It's just meant to be getting hotter and hotter as the week goes on, potentially touching the sort of high 20s, early 30s towards the weekend, which I absolutely love. Can't wait to just be out in the sunshine enjoying it. But yeah, that's about where we're at for this week. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you've got any questions at all on, anything that you want to know in a bit more detail, hopefully I've explained quite a lot as I've gone on in terms of what I've been doing. But if any questions in particular about how this has been, how I found it, particular protocols that we've used or methods and stuff like to manage, whether it's manage how I've been traveling, manage how other stuff's gone, managing around sickness, etc. Please do let me know. I'm always here to answer any questions. Drop them in the comments. Find me on any of my socials at Ben Howard Fitness, or pop me an email, ben@benhowardfitness.com. Always happy to hear from you. Always happy to help. And yeah, just please don't hesitate to get in touch. But I'll be back again very soon. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will catch up in the next one.